There's a story where you wrote a movie treatment that was picked up by Cameron.
Yeah.
You talk about that situation, what happened?
The first movie treatment I did was for this drug trafficking organization that was based on the west side of the city. And they had a guy, I think the older brother was funding it for his younger brother. His younger brother was creative and he wanted to try and do some different stuff. And he did a really good job in the movie. James Johns. It was called Undergrad. It got made. It got picked up. It kind of became like hood classic in Pittsburgh, and it was like Good Will Hunting, but like with like heroin dealers. So it was about like a tough streetwise heroin dealing guy from the hood that gets out of prison and then takes some sort of evaluatory test that says he's a genius, and then he has to go to school at Carnegie Mellon, which is like an Ivy League institution, and then the cultural conflict therein, or as well as you could tell that story for $50,000 with a bunch of amateur actors or whatever. The guy who directed it actually was a really cool dude. He was a commercial director, but he had done like 10 years upstate in New York for killing somebody, I think. It's wild. I can't like believe the people I've met and all the wild shit that's happened. But yeah, so Undergrad led to, I'm trying to remember how that happened because the director, Dan Myers, was the one that facilitated me doing Undergrad. And I did that right when I came into law school, like right when I started, first week of law school. And I remember writing the script for it or whatever and being like, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I just started law school like 5 days ago. I was like, this is way cooler. I think there was a woman named Georgina who was a producer on the Undergrad project, and she had links back to New York City with Cameron or whatever. So yeah, Cameron, she contacted me, or Cameron, Freaky Zeke. First it was like Freaky Zeke and her, then eventually Cameron came in the conversation, and they had me do a treatment for, I think, the film. They said it was going to be Killer Season whatever, but it turned out being Percentages was the name of the movie. I did not write the script, but I did the whole plot. I did the whole treatment, all the characters, whatever. And I put an Easter egg in there just in case I didn't get paid, which was what happened, actually. I didn't realize the movie got made until like one day. I think someone told me that the movie got made. He was like, he made a movie. Oh, you know what it was? There's this Albanian dude who is from an influential clan in Tirana, Albania. I know you're like, where the fuck is this going? But I was on tour in Hungary, and the guy that facilitated all my shows there, he was really into super underground lyrical hip hop, like Cannabis, whatever. He was Albanian, but he lived in Hungary, and his dad was an extremely powerful and wealthy guy in Tirana, Albania. And they lived in this beautiful pre-war, like they had like half a floor of this amazing apartment building in Budapest. And the dude was going to London School of Economics. And he was, he just seemed to be like extremely influential. Like he always had like bodyguards around him and stuff. Like I was never really like sure about, whatever. So I wrote him as an Albanian gangster into the movie, like as a joke between him and I, and as an Easter egg, like just because like I knew that they would never change that shit. One day I was trying to find him on Facebook because I hadn't been out there in like 3 or 4 years, and I typed his name in to Google, and this random actor in like a Cameron straight to DVD movie came up, and I was like, you motherfuckers. So I sent an email to all of them, and I was like, yo, caught you in 4K. Well, that wasn't a thing back then, but whatever. I was like, yo, like I put my boy's name in here just so I could, like whatever. I'm like, you didn't pay me, like da whatever. So he hit me back, and he was like, look, I got you. Just come out to New York City, and he booked me a flight on JetBlue like that night. Like it was like 2 days after we started talking again. And I actually flew to New York City, got picked up by the driver with the sign holding my name and the livery, black livery joint, driven to North Jersey, went to the Dipset mansion. I actually was in the Dipset mansion. And then we talked for a while, him and I, about other projects. He drove me around in his Bentley. We went, we went somewhere and we smoked weed, ordered Domino's, and watched Steph Curry torch the Knicks at the Garden. And I remember he had crazy weed, creeper, old head weed. Shit put me under completely. I was so fucking torched. Must have probably drank the ranch dressing in front of him. Probably. And I was like so stoned. I was like, oh, yeah, movies, delicious. But yeah, nah. So then basically, like he paid me up for everything I had done. He gave me, I think, a little bit more money. And then I did another thing for him where I wrote a script for a horror movie that never came out, which oh my God, it was like, it was like the most demented. He was like a brain damaged serial killer, like living in rural Florida at a gas station who had traumatic injuries from his high school football career. And he was like abducting women. I remember writing this and being like I was like, you really want to? He's like, yeah, make it worse. It was so cooked, bro. But nah, that's about the extent of. I mean, there's a bunch of sub stories in there we probably don't have time for, but that is the general arc of what I did with him.